I was sitting in a chair. I had no pain, absolutely no pain. And then all of my abilities shut down. My vision shrunk into where there was only like a white light, and then it went out.
A heart attack. In a frightening instant, the sufferer's life can change dramatically. With immediate medical attention, most survive the experience. And today, it doesn't always mean that the life they led before the heart attack is over.
A heart attack for some people is a wake-up call, and most, fortunately, live a very full life after a heart attack.
Welcome to Healthy Body, Healthy Mind. I'm Carlos Pagan. Each year, more than 1 million men and women suffer a myocardial infarction, more commonly known as a heart attack. Studies show if the person is able to get to a hospital quickly, more than 90% will survive the attack. And today, thanks to improved awareness, medications to minimize damage, and lifestyle modifications, the chances of making a strong recovery from a first heart attack are greatly improved. In the past several years, there have been numerous medical advancements that are not only working to ensure a heart attack isn't deadly, but also to take steps designed to keep it from occurring in the first place.
The last decade, I'd say the last 15 years have been really very dramatic in what we can offer to a person who's at risk for a heart attack. So the first thing is trying to prevent heart attacks and working with your family doctor, working to lower risk profiles.
The general practitioner is usually the first line of defense for patients who may be at risk.
I think very important in assessing the risk of someone having a heart attack, which is somewhat new, is this concept of the metabolic syndrome. Primary care doctors, internists, and cardiologists, of course, are now becoming aware of a cluster of findings in a patient that should send a light bulb off that this patient is at high risk for having early heart disease or a heart attack.
To provide insight into the risk of suffering an initial heart attack and to help reduce the odds of suffering subsequent attacks, a risk profile can be developed. And while risk factors vary for every individual, there are some common components.
So the risk profiling, that term really means a doctor has been involved with the patient and trying to globally figure someone's risk. And we have formulas, but they're not fail-safe. The next phase is understanding I might be experiencing a heart attack. So if there's a question, aspirin, 911, to the closest hospital.
Just as it's important to recognize the warning signs of a heart attack, it's also important to understand that these same symptoms don't always point to a heart condition.
Every episode of chest pain doesn't have to be a heart attack. Gastrointestinal confused with chest discomfort happens all the time. So if somebody's getting an exertional discomfort, they should be talking to their physician about it. But a heart attack can come on at rest.
Coming to grips with the fact that one has just suffered a heart attack is an important first step in the recovery process.
I remember them bringing me down the hospital hallway to walk right after, and I could barely get down the hallway. It was the most awful feeling because I'd always been so active, and I just remember thinking, am I ever going to be the same?
For many people, a heart attack is a wake-up call, and most, fortunately, can live a full life after the attack. But as we'll see, the road to recovery can be long, challenging, and sometimes very different for men than for women. The results of a study published in the European Heart Journal found that 43% of all heart attacks every year go undetected. In men, an estimated 1/3 of all heart attacks are undetected, and in women, more than half. As we've seen, the first hours after a heart attack are crucial, and moving on after the attack may seem difficult, if not overwhelming for some. Interestingly, gender plays a role as well, all the way from first symptoms to recovery. Carlos Bain explains.